And here it's such a lovely melting pot that actually when you're studying the Bible, you are getting perspective of people that you would never talk to, actually you'd never perhaps come across in a different setting. So what there is here is a real richness in theology, when we're experiencing things not just from the tutor's perspective, which are all different, but actually the people that we're learning alongside, you know, we're sharing a different perspective as well, which is, you know, eye-opening and, you know, really helpful in terms of development of ministry.
One of the things that's actually really good about the environment here is that we can hash out things that we don't always understand about other people or completely agree with. And it really broadens your understanding of other people who are going into ministry, of other Christians, of other students.
Studying with a group of people that have quite diverse views, diverse backgrounds in terms of traditions, in terms of theology, makes for a much richer conversation. Because, you know, it's not everybody has a similar viewpoint, and you can really learn from other people, you know, as well as from the tutors. That's part of being what formation is, but yeah.
I come from an evangelical background, and yet I was, you know, down to help lead a BCP service, Book of Common Prayer, 1662 service, which was really quite, you know, it really, at first I thought, why am I reading these words? This isn't even today's language. And I had to do a reading, and it was, you know, I had to read Here Beginneth, the first lesson or whatever. But actually, as I read from, we use the authorised version as well, but as I read the text, I could see how it all fit with the liturgy. But actually reading those words, the reading just came across so much more powerfully. I was doing a reading on sins of the flesh. But actually it was just so strong, and I just thought, wow, and it really kind of hit me, what was being said.
I come from I was raised Roman Catholic. I come from a very traditional Roman Catholic background, and I've been all over the church spectrum in the last 20 years. I've been a Methodist, I've been in the Presbyterian church, and coming to St Augustine's has really helped me to ground myself in all of those traditions, to sort out my own identity and where I fit. And I think I am very liturgically conservative. I do like the high Anglo-Catholic worship, and that's where I'm most comfortable. But I'm also very comfortable, you know, wearing a Soul Survivor t-shirt and raising my arms and worshipping with Tim Hughes. But I think it was coming here that helped me to resolve all of that within myself. Wow. And so, I mean, I'm broad spectrum, and not everybody's going to be. But I'm comfortable being broad spectrum, and I'm also comfortable knowing that not everybody else is as comfortable right the way across as I am.
It's almost like taking off a coat that was once evangelical, because that's the only coat I ever really had, and putting on a coat which is much more designed for me, and that's come through study at college, exposure with people from who have different types of churchmanship. And ultimately under God.
Coming here, I've realised just how much, you know, my own kind of assumptions have come out as well, and a lot of stereotypes that I've had that I didn't realise I had, and just a way of thinking about God has been really broadened.
The experience is so diverse, the theology is so diverse, the worship is so diverse, the conversations that we have whenever we're away at a residential weekend are so diverse that I think we're constantly stretching our theology.
There is an openness to being opened up here, so it's a really safe place to ask a question. So there are people here that I'm friends with now who are completely different end of the church spectrum to me, but I can say to them, what do you think about that? Why do you think this thing? And we can have a really easy conversation, because that's kind of the whole atmosphere of the college is an open conversation. Yeah.
for me it was very choral worship I struggled with, but learning that the beauty and the finding God in that, and finding God in the people who I wouldn't necessarily always strike up friendships with if I didn't meet them at college. And that was really good, because what I began to learn was see where their heart is, see where their faith is, and learn from them, which enabled some barriers to be broken down, rather than a fear thing or a, well, I'm not going to listen. It's taking time to get to know people, because I keep saying it's all about relationship. Well, making relationship with people and then learning from them, and actually that was far richer than me just being by myself with a whole other cardboard cutouts of me.
Yeah.